Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will explain you on how the Azure Cloud works behind the scenes. When we say Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud, it is not actually hosted in the cloud. It is still hosted within the building as data center that owned by the cloud providers like Microsoft, Amazon, etc. In this case, it is going to be Microsoft Azure. Okay, what it means, when you put your request from the portal.azure.com, it will redirect your request to the data center where it will authenticate you and provision the resources that you have requested. I have mentioned about multiple items in this slide like virtualization, geography, region, zone, etc. I will quickly go through all of this detail in a moment. So this is my virtual box hosted in my personal computer. In order for my virtual box to run in my personal computer, I need to have hypervisor to be installed. So if you see here, I have multiple operating system. This is the same concept that Microsoft Azure also using to provision your resources in the cloud. So it uses the virtualization using hypervisor. So as I mentioned before, Microsoft Azure uses the concept virtualization to create a resources in the cloud. So let me explain you how virtualization is help you to create a data center in Microsoft Azure Cloud. So let us assume that I have the powerful hardware that includes 100 terabyte of RAM and 500 terabyte of storage, and having hypervisor installed in that hardware. And also assume that I do have the same set of configuration for the another hardware. So I have like two different hardware with the same configuration, and then I need to put these two hardware inside the rack. Your rack actually looks something like this, but in my example I'm going to use the rack that consists of two slots. So I need to push these two hardware in each slot, and in order for me to communicate between these two slots, I need to have a networking installed between these two slots. Even single rack can be your data center, but there is a risk involved when you have just only one rack. When this entire rack goes into the power failure, or even if this rack is get corrupted, then your application will not be available to the user. To make your application to be high available, you need to have multiple rack like this. So it is always having a good practice to have your application installed on multiple rack. So one or more rack can make you can help you to create a data center. Okay, in this slide, I'm going to explain what is availability zone and region. So here I'm having multiple zone 1 and zone 2. So you can consider that zone 1 and zone 2 are multiple cities that is having their corresponding data center. So in zone 1, I'm having one data center. In zone 2, I have the another set of data center. So here the region is West US. That means it is hosted in the California. Inside the California state, let us assume that I have two different cities called San Francisco and Los Angeles. So your data center in San Francisco is called zone 1. Your data center in Los Angeles is called zone 2. So suddenly if there is some issue let us assume that there is a problem in the zone 2 in Los Angeles data center. When that it happens, still your application can be available with the help of the data center that is running in San Francisco. That is why having your application on multi-zone is always keep your application with the concept called high availability. and also it will help you to keep your application more reliable to the users. then why do we need region? Okay, so region is nothing but where all your zones are connected to the single region. So here the region is West US. You can also have your application hosted on a different region called East US within the United States. So okay, why do we need your application to be hosted on multiple regions? Let us say the entire California is having a disaster issues like natural issues, calamities issues like flood or earthquake. So in that case, your entire data in California can go get corrupted, or even there could be a possibility of power failure. In that case, your application still can be accessible by accessing your application from the different region in East US. So you need to understand the need for region and availability zone. Let me repeat, your region is helpful for disaster recovery and zones are useful for the purpose like high availability, failure oversight, etc. Okay, so you need to connect. There should be a way to connect between your data center and the portal. So all your data center is always reachable through the API. Okay, so every data center has a software called orchestrator that is going to be the medium between your data center and the portal, PowerShell, etc. So what happens when the user wanted to install app services in the respective region? Okay, let us say I am the user who wanted to install Azure App Services in region West US. When I go and click create, it will go and install these app services in all the available zone that is hosted within the region West US. So what will happen when any of these zones or get corrupted? I can still access my app services in the zone which is available. I hope you understand the necessity of having the availability zone and region in Microsoft Azure. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe.